our next bit of movie news. Hot off the heels of HBO and their crazy, ridiculous announcement. And I will go so far to say it's a ridiculous announcement. Not ridiculous necessarily in a negative sense, but the fact that they're dropping 17 movies over the course of 1 year, one movie every 3 weeks, that's ridiculous. Nobody's ever done that before. It's completely ridiculous. Well, Legendary Pictures has had some things to say about it. Prolific actor, director Christopher Nolan had some very harsh things to say about it. And now Patty Jenkins has thrown her hat into the proverbial ring. She's got some thoughts on this as well. She's boiled it down to there was no good option. What makes this particular article interesting or story interesting is that Patty Jenkins took to social media back in November. I don't know if you guys remember this. It was like early to mid-November. And she was extremely dead set on supporting movie theaters and said Wonder Woman 1984 is not coming out on streaming. It's not going to happen. We're dedicated. Warner Brothers is dedicated to the theatrical experience. This is what makes the movies or going to the movies magical. We need the theatrical experience. Well, Warner Brothers just kind of went off and did whatever it is that they wanted to do. It seems like they already had this plan set, right? So we knew that Wonder Woman 1984 was coming out on streaming on Christmas Day and in theaters on the same day. We already kind of knew that. But now it would appear that Warner Brothers made that first initial announcement full well knowing that they were going to do the entire 2021 catalog on streaming the same day that it's coming out in theaters. And it seems to me like Patty Jenkins had her, she got pigeonholed a little bit. It seems like she got pigeonholed. She was recently interviewed on SiriusXM. Let's jump in here to the article real quick. She was interviewed on SiriusXM. I should have had this. Hold, please. We're figuring this out. Here we go. So here, there's a YouTube clip from SiriusXM where Patty Jenkins and the entire cast of Wonder Woman 84, they're all being interviewed together. And the question was posed to Patty Jenkins of like, what do you think about this? What are your thoughts? Where do you stand? How does this work? And it seems like Patty Jenkins kind of went through the process of a little bit of rehearsal. It seems like her answer was a little bit rehearsed. Now, Rolland, you can feel free to disagree with me there, but my initial knee-jerk reaction was that this seemed like a pre-prepared answer. It didn't seem like she was letting her full emotions out of this, which, first of all, consummate professional. If you want to continue to work in this business, you have got to be a consummate professional. You can't throw anybody under the bus, because anytime you throw anyone under the bus, nobody's going to want to work with you for fear that you're going to throw them under the bus. I feel that Christopher Nolan can get away with that because he has the established background behind him to say, like, he is a fantastic filmmaker. Patty Jenkins, also a fantastic, an Academy Award winning filmmaker. However, in the world that we live in, sometimes for some people, it's an uphill climb. It's an uphill struggle. And you are not afforded the opportunity to, you're not afforded the luxury of making crass comments about what you really think and genuinely is the situation. Rolland, you had a chance to check out this clip. At least I think you did. Okay, so you didn't. But so essentially Patty Jenkins was just saying in this interview, in this article, in this video that, Wonder Woman coming out on HBO Max and all the other films coming out on HBO Max, Warner Brothers and HBO Max, they kind of have to do what they have to do. And she goes on to say that what a magical experience, specifically speaking about Wonder Woman, to have this film come out on home video, on streaming, giving everyone the opportunity, as much of an opportunity as possible, to see this incredible film that they feel so passionately about, that they are so 110% behind. Do you think that Patty Jenkins, given her status in Hollywood, maybe should have been a little bit more critical of HBO Max, as opposed to saying, you know what? They had to do what they had to do. There's no good option here. They went with what they thought was best. Or do you think that maybe she should have said something a little similar to Christopher Nolan, being like, you know what? This was kind of a rough thing to do, and it kind of blindsided everybody. Where do you stand?
Well, you're right. I haven't watched the clip, but I think trying to second guess what she should have done, it's kind of hard to do. I mean, Christopher Nolan has he's got the clout. You've already alluded to that. And although she is phenomenal, she doesn't necessarily have the clout that he does, so she might not be able to get away with it. There's a lot of directors who would not be able to get away with that. And I think everybody's in a weird situation right now because of the pandemic. Now, if this had happened without the pandemic, I think a lot more people would be up in arms, and I think it would have been easier for a lot of people in the industry to kind of voice their opinion and say why this is bad, or this is a horrible thing, or I don't agree with it. But I think right now, when theaters are shut, a lot of theaters are shut down. Even if they're open, they're at a small percentage of attendance that they can have. Movies have had to be pushed back and pushed back. Disney tried with Mulan, and I think this is a victim of circumstance. And my guess is she's probably doing what she thinks is the best thing to do under these circumstances. I do hope everything kind of goes back to normal once the world goes back to normal. And I'd like to see Patty Jenkins do more films at that point, and I'd go watch them in the theater. I think it's probably an unfair position that she got put in and had to make the best of it.
I think a lot of people got put into an unfair position. And yeah, to your point, you kind of have to make the best of it. It's a garbage situation all around. It's a garbage situation that COVID is raging throughout the world. It's a garbage situation that, because there's bigger things at play. I understand that. But, this is a movie talk show and we talk about all things movie related. So it sucks that movie theaters are shut down. It sucks that the ramifications of that is that people are losing their jobs as a result. There's a very real possibility that this industry is going to start to crumble from the inside out. And there's not much that we can do about it. So to try and salvage what you can salvage using the technology that we have to salvage, and I keep using the word salvage because I like the word salvage.
It's a good word.
It sucks because in some ways you can't blame HBO Max for doing what they're doing, but in other ways, like what Legendary, their whole point is that they were never given a heads up. They were given a 30-minute heads up before HBO Max made their big announcement.
Wow.
And being that they, specifically Legendary Pictures, they funded the majority of the film Dune, and they funded the majority for the film Kong versus Godzilla. So when you have somebody financially backing your project, but they have no say in distribution, and they have no say in how it's going to be shown and where it's going to be shown and who it's going to be shown to and all that stuff. You haven't consulted your business partners. They just want a seat at the table. That's their whole argument. They want a seat at the table. So you went over the head. Again, Christopher Nolan. They kind of went over his head. Not that Christopher Nolan has a say as to how Warner Media is going to run their business, but he is one of your most talented directors. He exclusively works with Warner Brothers. Exclusively. So to see all of these changes and everything, and Warner on the surface, it looks like Warner Media is just steamrolling everyone. it's just a garbage situation. I mean, maybe they could have handled it a little bit better. I don't know.
Well, I'm willing to bet that the fact that HBO Max is starting out, and they're trying to get a bigger piece of the streaming pie, I'm sure they saw this as like a win-win in what is a bad situation, right? They don't have to push back all the movies. They can still get them out and get viewership to go up in HBO Max. And maybe once the year 2021 is over, everything goes back to normal, but the viewership they're hoping will stay the same. I do think what you pointed out might lead to changes in contracts the next time Legendary decides to fund a movie through Warner Brothers. Maybe they make sure that the distribution, that they do have a say in it.
Yeah,
That I can picture that happening.
I think there's a lot of stuff that's going to come out of this whole 2020 dumpster fire of a year that is going to change the world forever in all aspects, and that is just one of them. Big question for you guys is how do you think Patty Jenkins handled the situation? Do you think she put her most professional foot forward? Do you think she should have used her celebrity and influence to try and make a change and say something that helps more everyone as opposed to one entity? What do you guys think? Jump on down to the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you like this video, click like. If you really like this video, click subscribe. And if you really, really like this video, click share. Because that is exactly what Michelangelo from the Ninja Turtles would want you to do. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.